Well, hello everyone. Welcome to this episode of Getting Together. And we actually are going to be talking to people again from Dancing for the Stars this year. I can't believe it is already coming around again, but they did like bump up the schedule.
They
Isn't
did.
that right?
We're in September now.
Okay,
we'll talk
so we're in
about
September.
dates and all that later with our guests, but it's almost a year. Jaimie,
crazy.
we've been doing this almost a year.
That's amazing.
Isn't that exciting?
What a ride it has been.
Yes,
Thank you
it's
for
been
being
so
on this
great.
ride with us. And you today, you've got like the little Encanto thing going on.
Yeah. That's what you said. I feel a little
Yes.
like, what was her name? She was, oh man, see, this is where we go. And then
I don't know.
Chico, what was her name? It
Oh,
was like
uh-huh.
Cha-Cha,
Yeah.
Chico.
Yep.
You know what
Her.
I'm saying? She
Yes,
was
I do.
super kind of,
Yep.
And
Okay.
she used to be on like,
See, this is what happens when you
Yeah.
have a couple of
When you-
people who are aging and have children, and like the brain doesn't quite function anymore. We
Menopausal.
have memories of people
oh,
that
dang it.
we should know.
You know
but,
who's going to know? Your father-in-law, Denver. He'll know.
yeah.
And he'll
Oh,
be
he'll
like,
know.
her name is blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So,
But anyway,
that's awesome.
I'm channeling my inner Encanto.
Oh, it was right there. Okay, but it's gonna come.
You can see
Okay.
her, right?
Yeah.
Like you.
Well, I shouldn't, but
Oh.
yeah, I can.
Man, it's right there.
But that's okay. So anyway, was there a reason behind this particular outfit
You know what?
choice?
This is actually my 83-year-old mother's shirt.
Wow. Did she
She's
go on a cruise to
sassy.
Mexico?
She did not.
Oh.
We went to Prescott Valley, had their flea market, their indoor vintage and antique
Oh, yeah.
flea market.
Yeah.
And it was in one of
This
the
past weekend.
Yes, both of us love vintage clothing, and
Okay.
she saw this, and I saw it, and we were like, "It's mine," and so she bought it, and I borrow it.
Wow. I thought there was gonna be like a legacy story. Like, man,
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
no.
my mother's when
It
she
was
went on this cruise
$240
back in
though.
1920.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
I don't know.
She does still have some of those pieces of clothing though.
Yes.
It was $240, and it was on sale for $40 at this lady's booth.
This?
Yes, I know. So I'm like,
Hmm.
please, Lord, do not let me spill coffee on it this morning. I'll be in big trouble. Because my mom didn't know. I snuck into her room, opened her closet,
Grabbed the
and
shirt.
grabbed it while she was asleep.
Huh. So that whole 240
Yeah.
40 thing,
Right.
It makes you skeptical,
A little
doesn't
bit.
it? Yeah.
But the tag was still on. It was on there. But who would pay $240 for
Yeah, I don't know.
people that have too much money? Don't know
No.
what to do with it. I'll help you. I'll show you what to do with it.
So we were in the on the coast last weekend.
We were off last week.
Yes,
Sorry
we were
that
off,
you missed
and
us.
I was
if
in
you
California
missed
with my
us.
family.
Yeah.
And it was a great time. There was a shop I went into in Seal Beach,
Yeah.
and you kind of know that stuff's inflated a little bit, right?
A little
so
bit.
It's the day before Father's Day, and so I see this watch that I really like. It's this like
boy.
made out of wood and
Yeah.
whatever. And Marissa goes, "You never buy anything for yourself. Just buy it."
Oh,
and I look at
so
the tag,
sweet.
and it's $160.
Oh, that's not bad for a watch.
I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I don't usually do things just on that scale, so well, maybe I will. So I kind of think about it, and I have that little feeling like probably check Amazon
Good old Amazon.
just in case.
Yikes.
So then I just kind of take note of the manufacturer,
Right.
and then I decide not to buy the watch that day, but I go on Amazon on our way home.
Yeah.
The same watch
Yeah.
from the same company.
$56. 83.
36.
Oh my gosh.
$36. And I'm like, oh my gravy. I mean, people mark stuff up and it's the beach. What?
That's
but that's
crazy.
insane. So,
Yes.
But so congratulations on your $40 shirt.
Thank you.
Good times.
I love
Good
it.
times. Good
And
times.
I don't mind looking like something out of Encanto. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
Mira
it's
thou.
all good.
We don't talk about Bruno though.
No, definitely not.
We're not gonna talk
But
about
we
him.
are going to talk about jobs, odd jobs.
yeah.
What were some of the first jobs? What were some of the jobs that you weren't really good at?
I have had 26 different jobs
Why have you counted?
because Andy and I, we were like, how many jobs have you had? I don't know how many. And so one day we sat down and we counted them all.
Oh my
And I'm sure there's a couple
gosh.
more because this was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And from the time we officially started like receiving, like a real paycheck. Why are you making the frowny face?
No, I'm listening.
Okay.
Sorry. Receiving
I don't know.
a
You're
paycheck.
looking at our audio stuff
I'm
and
just
making
making
a
sure
frowny face. That makes me
this is a
nervous.
good story. I
know.
don't know.
Yeah. So
I don't wanna
like
miss a minute of
15
this.
was my first job. Like
Okay.
babysat and whatever. But where I got a paycheck
Yes.
and the W-2 and the whole bit. Easy form back then. And at 15, from now, 49, I've had a few, Jeremy.
Okay. 26, in fact.
Probably a couple more than that, because
Okay.
that was a couple years ago that we tallied all that up.
Fantastic. And what was the job that you really just, it was not you? It just could not, 26, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. I can tell you.
Of
There's
those
been a
26.
couple,
Yes.
but the top of the list
Yes.
was we lived in England, and weren't a lot of jobs.
Okay.
And I worked at a Michelin star restaurant in
Oh.
this, like Gordon Ramsay type stuff.
Yeah.
Teeny tiny place. My mother-in-law actually worked there before I did, although there's a story there. We had no idea.
Okay.
She had moved away from England. I moved there. And apparently I took her job when she left, only I didn't know it.
Okay.
And so fancy schmancy hotel and restaurant, and I worked in the restaurant. I had never really been a wine drinker. I don't know anything about wine. And now I'm like waiting on tables and people want to know what wine goes with what. Didn't have a clue. Worked with a chef of this Michelin star restaurant who it's what you see on TV. He
Angry.
thought, oh my gosh, he thought the sun shined out of his backside. And if you let his food sit on that hot thing for 1 second, he'd rip you a new... Tears. And then everyone wanted to talk to me because I had an American accent.
Yeah.
So he's yelling at me.
And you're a talker.
And I'm a talker. And I want to hear their stories because they got cool accents. And he's, waiting for me to bring their amazing, teeny, tiny little dish of, quail's eggs out to them. High pressure, horrible. I was the worst.
Oh.
At it. They want a crumb. You got a crumb, the tablecloth. What is that?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yes. See, because you say you don't come from money, but you do.
yeah. No.
How do you know that then?
I've had a couple of experiences that I saved up for.
Sure you did.
And there was actually a restaurant in New York City, in Little Italy, and we decided that we were going to go to this place, and like we saw the menu and we just about died.
Yes.
But
Because
then
it's pasta. It's like 12 cents.
right. But then there was a guy, and it was the only restaurant I've been to that was like this. But there was a guy who stood at our table, like just far enough removed to not be too
That's
pushy.
what I had to do.
And he had this little silver blade.
That's what I had.
And the second there was a crumb and some stuff was cleared, whoop, he'd come in, do the whole table.
Yep.
Whoop, zoop,
That's
back in the corner.
Yes.
I'm like, what is happening?
That's
I'm like,
exactly what I had to do.
That's why my pasta is $75.
Yes, it was horrible.
So
horrible.
did you get fired?
No.
You quit?
I'm trying to think.
How
Have I
long
ever
did you
been fired?
last?
I've been fired once. Have you ever
Okay.
been fired?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now your worst job ever that you just weren't good at. It wasn't for you.
Well, I want to know, how long did you last in that awful thing?
Maybe like 3 months. Yeah, I couldn't.
Okay.
I couldn't do it. I
Okay.
can't talk and be friendly and explain why I'm there as an American and have the chef berate me and cuss
yeah.
at me in a way I don't even know what half of those words meant.
Okay.
But I know they were naughty.
They were naughty. They were naughty words. Okay. All right. No.
Horrible.
So I had a couple like poor jobs. One, my very first job, delivering pizza for Straw Hat Pizza in
Straw Hat?
Straw Hat Pizza.
Not Straw Hut. I think it's Straw Hut. No, it's Pizza Hut, Straw
Pizza
Hat.
Hut. Yeah, Straw Hat Pizza.
Okay, I vaguely remember this is a California place. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, terrible pizza. I've never have eaten there.
Okay.
But it was my first job, and
How old were you?
Like 16.
Okay.
Probably 16 and a half-ish, 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. My little Ford Fiesta, delivering pizzas. And it's one of those weird deals because like when I interviewed for the job, I'd grown up in this town, but you don't realize how small your world is, even in a small town, until you're told to find somewhere new. And I'm like, I know this street and this street. I think is it on those two? They're like, not even close. So, I was bad. I was awful.
And no GPS back then.
No GPS.
We had no phone.
So I had a map, and my dad had taught me how to use a map. So like I had, a good understanding of that portion. But oh man, I was terrible. So I would stand at first, like they gave me the address, and I would stand. They had a big map. You grab your pizzas, and in the shop, then you'd look at the map and find whatever, cross streets, and then leave, right?
Yeah.
But I'd stand there for like a very
little too
long
long.
time. So I quickly figured out, like, okay, I go to the car, I drive out of the parking lot.
Yes.
Like, I mean, like, I do this cursory look at the map, like I'm trying. Like, oh, yep, okay.
Where is that? Over here?
Great.
I don't know.
Zoom out of the parking lot like I'm just on a mission,
Yes.
you know? And 70% of the time you have to do a U-turn because, like, I don't know. Pull over in a parking lot of a grocery store that was
Yeah.
like really close. Get out the map, pour over this map, try to find this
Meanwhile,
thing.
my pizza is going cold.
Oh yeah.
Stone cold.
So I'd get to the house and people were like,
yeah, 30 minutes or it's free.
Kind of been waiting a while. I'm like, oh man, I don't know.
I'm so
It's
sorry.
weird, so kind of weird. So obviously they're then calling
Right.
the pizza joint and saying, hey man, we like you.
Not good enough.
Not happening.
Right.
And so I get well, and there's a side story here. I did go to this one guy's house, and I think I'd actually found this one pretty quickly because he was pretty happy, dude. He opens the door, hands me a ferret. He goes, hold my ferret, and he closed the door. And now I've got
Heard it
pizzas
called a
and
lot
a
of things.
ferret, and I'm like, what do I do with a live ferret?
They can be mean.
They can be mean.
Yes.
And so I'm like, what happened?
Is this my
Is he
tip?
coming back?
Am I taking
I don't
this?
know. So then, like 2 seconds later, he opens the door and he's like, hey, sorry about that. I had this thing going. I'm like, okay, here's your ferret. But so I get called by the manager. Hey, you need to come in and you talk. So we sit down in the restaurant portion before it's open. And she's like, have you ever gone to a shoe store? And I'm like, yeah.
Where are we going with this?
Where are we going? And she's got this stack of applications.
Oh, boy.
She's like, can you try on a pair of shoes? I'm like, they're nice shoes. They're good shoes, but
This
they
is
just
good.
don't fit.
It's a good metaphor.
But she's going on and on. And I'm like,
well, we like our shoes
oh,
as
good
women.
night. So I finally just said, are you firing me? She goes, yes. I said, okay, thank you.
We just get to the point.
So then I start to like get up to leave because I'm not exactly married to this job, and I know I'm bad. Like I know it's not going great.
Right.
And she's like, well, you don't have to. I'm like, so wait, so I'm not fired? I'm unfired? We'll give you another chance. I'm like,
But not delivery.
Oh, great.
You're in the kitchen.
Yeah, well, kitchen wasn't any better. So I was supposed to deliver, and then like I realized that nothing's changing. I'm still just as bad. So like 2 weeks later, I quit.
Well, at least you quit. You weren't really,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, officially
Oh, that's the thing. I was never really
fired.
Fired.
Not really.
Fired.
No. I think the only time I was fired, I worked at Sterling Optical.
Oh.
And it was holiday. And it was, in the mall, and I was in college, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved, teaching people how to put their contact lenses in when you're like coming at them and they keep going. Had one lady fall off her chair, so I'm coming at her with the contact. Yeah, because he said, if you take spring break off, don't bother coming back. And I was like,
Whoa.
bye. Like, this isn't what I want to do with my life. So big threat. So I guess I was fired. I kind of left,
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
So that
fine.
was it. Otherwise, my sister and I talk about this a lot because we have both only really gone for jobs that either just served a purpose, like through college,
Yeah.
But we're people. So if it's with people, we love it anyway.
Okay.
So
There's
I
always
really,
aspects
yeah.
that you can.
And
yeah.
we've never done it like for the money. It's always been because it's either a ministry or a passion or pretty much.
Okay.
Mostly. So
Mostly.
man, but working with women, I'm sorry, was probably the worst. I worked in a hair salon and I was a receptionist, and there were 14 women in this. Never again.
No?
Never
No.
again.
Okay.
I'm sorry to all my feminist friends out there. But women can be horrible, nasty, gossip, just rare. Yeah. So,
Okay.
not my
There
thing.
you have it.
Not my jam.
Not your jam. So who do we have today?
Well, we have my friend, Jaimie Procknow. And I'm not going to get her name wrong because
You
I've said
actually
it.
know her.
I know her. I would consider her a friend. I hope she consider me a friend. I don't know. We'll have to ask her. I don't know. I kind of
That
live in
could-
this little
that could
everybody's
make
my
it
friend
interesting.
bubble. So
Yeah.
maybe not. But when I worked for Christian Family Care, foster and adoption agency here in town, she had the job before me. I took her place.
Oh, okay.
So we have foster and adoption advocacy. She is a foster adopted mom. She'll have to tell you guys how many she's adopted. It's going to blow your mind. She runs a nonprofit. But she is also going to be a dancer. She is last year for Dancing for the Stars. Mm-hmm. She was one of the pros. This year it's flipped.
Okay.
Yeah, she's dancing with the pro, so she's a celebrity this year.
Ew, so good.
So in just a moment, it'll be our interview with Jaimie Procknow. Hey, we're back. We promised you Jaimie Procknow, but we got a bonus.
It's awesome.
Frankie Pena. And I said it right.
You said it right.
Yes. Cheers to that. Cheers.
I would.
Yes.
Cheers.
Yes. Well, we'll cheers. We'll pretend. So my friend Jaimie, I told you that we were going to interview her. You are our first Dancing for the Stars couple in our Dancing for the Stars interviews.
Season 2.
Season 2
for us.
Awesome. Awesome.
Not for you.
No, I've had what they say, this isn't my first rodeo.
Right. No, it is not.
Yeah.
But before we go into the Dancing for the Stars, I want the people that don't know you, which is probably like 3 people in town, to know a little bit about the behind the scenes Jaimie.
Oh. Okay.
Because I did share in our intro that I took your job at Christian Family Care.
Yes.
You were like on your way out and kind of showed me the ropes and introduced me to a lot of people. And so then I shared, just your heart for foster care and adoption and advocacy, like myself. Mm-hmm. We have that in common.
Yes, we do.
And so tell us a little bit about you.
Me.
The backstory.
The backstory of me. So specifically like foster care, adoption, or just
I was gonna say,
whatever.
Do you have time for this?
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be. You're gonna have to do some editing.
I'll be switching out cards, and battery packs. No, it's all good.
So yeah, I guess I was a foster mom for 8.5 years, and loved living that life. I mean, hard, but loved it. Still keep in contact with the majority of the children that I fostered through the years, which is one of the greatest things to see. Like, I don't know what happens where you kind of think you're caring for these children, but I don't know where the disconnect was in my mind, that I was like, but they're going to be grown someday with children and whatnot.
Yes.
And so now I get to live that part of things. So my life now consists also of still seeing the children that I saw through some of their tough times as grown people and living life. And that's just awesome. Then, of course, I decided to become a CASA at one point. I worked for Christian Family Care as well. I have continued to do different things in that realm. Always. Because you can't, that's when it's your heart, and you just can't just be done with it.
Right.
It's just always always there.
Right.
It is.
So that's what I do. And now I started a nonprofit, which is Three Willows Sanctuary. And I did that in large part because through those years of seeing just people in their difficult days, the need to have a safe place, a place to feel, to just kind of connect with your feelings. And I wanted to do something to support people in that way. And then also secondary trauma for our helpers. So I like to say we help the helpers kind of thing. So, you look at caseworkers, even people in like the field of social work and whatnot. There's a lot of burnout in that field with counselors, all of it. So we take a lot of time to make sure we have programs in place and developing programs to help the helpers, if you will.
Alongside.
Yeah.
And there's horses involved.
There's a lot of horses involved.
A
lot of horses. The horses are amazing. That's one of the things. We have horses, we have goats, we have chickens, we have ducks, we have sheep. I don't know. We have donkeys. We have all the things.
Yes.
Holy cow.
2 potbelly pigs on the way too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yay. Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can never have too many critters, right?
No, right.
We're finding that out real quick.
Yes, you are, actually. And we
Are
have
you?
yet to talk about that.
It's true, but
You added bunnies.
Oh, we got bunnies coming too.
fluffy
bunnies.
bunnies.
We got fluffy bunnies. We're so excited for the
you
bunnies.
want 2 more?
Yes, we can take them all.
Don't you dare.
We went from being a no pet family
And you were
to
really
having
kind of
6 pets
adamant
now.
about it.
Like,
6?
yeah, oh yeah, like
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know, dog
Yeah.
and a couple
One
hamsters
day
and
there was
2.
a dog in here in the porch, and Jeremy was like, those people that bring their dog. And now he's like, bring on the bunnies.
No.
Bring
So
on
now
the
he's the dog guy.
dogs.
He's got them all.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll be the
Do you
one
take
with
your
the
bunnies with
stroller.
No, but apparently there. I don't know. And, sorry.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying,
just-
it's a thing.
Good for you that you have so many
Critters.
animals.
Yes, thank you.
That's good, and the space to do it. That's
Yes,
good.
that's a blessing.
That's
So
good.
when you're done with your animals and they need to go to the farm, there you
Bam.
go.
There it
Hi.
is.
But we
We're
have
right.
actually
go to the
had
farm.
several of our animals have come kind of in that fashion. So that's been
Oh.
fun.
Yes.
Okay.
Plug.
You can come on in the shot, girls. Come on
Fire
in.
club.
Come on in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Come on in.
Thank you.
Here are the beautiful
so
girls.
much.
Okay, they can't see you though. They just these
guys gotta
drinks
get
are
in front and
appearing.
say
Yeah,
hi.
come on and
Yeah,
just
say hi.
pop in here and say hi. There you
Hello.
go.
Oh my.
The porch.
Oh my.
The
Come on down, say hi.
porch.
Put
The
this here. Is that
porch.
okay?
Yes, babe.
Thank you. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you
So
so
then,
much.
it's called Three Willows. This
Yes,
new
Three
nonprofit.
Willows
And what is the
Sanctuary.
name? What's the significance behind the name? Where does that come from?
Oh, it's kind of funny. A few different things. One, so there are in fact 3 willows, although one needs to be replaced.
So it's like right now it's 3 willows minus 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
We gotta fix
3.5 willows. I don't know what we have going on.
Yes.
But 3 Willows it was actually Three Willows Ranch before it became mine. The
Okay.
man who owned it before, he was my neighbor forever, and he had 3 daughters, and he planted a willow tree for each of them. 3 has always been my favorite number. I'm one of 3 girls, and then willows were always of significance to me. They're just like a place of you know how they
Yes. They're
kind of encompass.
amazing.
And then one of my daughters always loved willow trees, so I just was excited about that. So
Nice.
instead of 3 Willows Ranch, it's 3 Willows Sanctuary, and that's really what it is. It's a sanctuary for people's
Awesome.
hearts.
That's really good.
Yeah, thank
And then,
you.
Jaimie, just part of your story, and then Frankie, this will apply to you too. But just kind of the story of how you came to Prescott. Have you always been in Prescott, or?
So I moved to Prescott 21 years ago, I think.
Okay.
I transferred. I used to work for Waste Management, and I handled their large commercial accounts. And that's what brought me here.
Okay.
But and actually I fell in love with Arizona and Yavapai County. I had come out to visit someone, and I was out here and I was like, I love it here. I went back to my office in Illinois, inquired, and I was living here less than 2.5 weeks after
That was meant to
Wow,
be.
that's
Really,
yeah.
that's really
And
awesome.
Supposed to be.
I just, all the signs were like that away. So, I love it here. And, but I was born and raised in Urbana, Illinois. But
Atta
Wow.
girl. Good
That's a-
Midwestern.
Midwestern
Right.
girl here.
That's right.
And how about you, Frankie?
Frankie, where you
So
from?
I'm born and raised in Phoenix. I've been up in Prescott, from time to time, and it just so happened to be, tell our magical story of meeting.
No.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh my
Oh, I
goodness.
love a magical
Okay.
story.
It is funny.
So I'm up here helping one of my friends on a deer hunt, and we go to dinner at Murphy's. I think
Yes.
it's called, right?
Yes.
So then he wants to go out and have a drink.
Sure.
And so I'm like, okay, well, fine, let's have one drink. We go to Matt's Saloon, and then it's really nobody there because it's kind of early.
Right.
So then he's like, well, let's just go bar hopping. We went down, up and down. And just so you know the time, it's right around Halloween. Okay.
Ah, boy.
So, whatever, we come back down to Matt's and we see a bunch of people. And there's a bunch of people dancing. You know how she loves to dance.
She loves to
Oh,
dance.
okay.
But
Like
being
no
that
one's
it's
watching.
Halloween, she's dressed as a scarecrow.
Oh.
That does not surprise me.
So this is my first interaction. I see this beautiful
Scarecrow?
woman and dancing, and I'm just like, oh,
Hello.
hello. How are you? Scarecrow?
Embarrassing me.
And that's my
God,
friend's
I'm so
nickname for her. He
embarrassed.
only calls her Scarecrow.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cute.
my goodness.
And so anyways, fast forward, it was like the song, excuse me, you're in my seat. She just happened to be getting ready to leave, and she had this girl that was with her on the dance classes that she teaches.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I'll stay with you. And she came back to look for her, and the girl that she was with was talking to my friends and I. And I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. Like, I want to go home, because she was dancing with other people, and I thought she was with somebody.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't want to be rude. And anyways, I come back, and there she is in my seat. I'm like,
Oh.
well.
Excuse me.
Excuse
You are
me.
in my seat.
Yeah,
And I
and
don't
so-
mind.
Now I can't even.
So yeah, we literally talked, and then she goes, "Well, why haven't you asked me to dance?"
Aww.
And I go, "Well, I thought you were this," and then I was like, "Well,"
Yeah.
and she's like, "Well, do you know how to dance?"
Oh,
I go,
do
"Yes, ma'am,
I?"
a little."
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am, a
yes,
little.
ma'am,
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, you're her official
Partner.
pro
Yeah.
on Dancing for the Stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
This is a piece I didn't know.
Yes. So when we were dancing, it was very obvious to me that a little was not
knew what
exactly
he
the
was doing.
truth. Yeah, and it turns
Nice.
out
Yeah.
that he has done like competitive country dance and whatnot. So yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
ma'am, a little
okay.
is
Yes,
very.
ma'am, a little.
Oh, we'll
Yeah.
call it humble.
Yeah.
Okay.
How does one grow up doing competitive country dance?
So it wasn't like I just literally learned it in college, and then I thought it was such a absolute fun thing to do. I just did it just for fun,
Oh, my
like it was
word.
nothing. Like I played baseball my whole life, and
Okay.
then like I was like, well, I want to learn how to dance. I didn't know how to dance like that because everyone in Texas, that's what they do. And I was embarrassed. I was a guy in the sidelines, and I'm never on the sidelines, so
Yeah.
I couldn't handle it.
I'm like, I gotta learn
So I need to
this.
learn how to do this.
Yes.
So I asked this one guy that, he was always dancing, and I'm like, this dude never leaves the dance floor. Like, he's awesome. So I asked him, and he brought me with his little friends, and they,
Yes, little friends.
Yeah.
Were they little?
well, I mean, they were just they were different.
Okay. His little group.
Yeah, his
Nice.
little group was different.
Okay.
And so
How fun.
I just got into it, and then I just absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And then
That's
I stopped dancing for like 10 years. I told her, like, I hadn't danced in 10 years until I met her.
Yo,
Wow.
he danced again.
Yeah.
Once
She brought
he
it out
met
of
you,
me.
Jaimie,
And then I-
danced again.
Yep. So I just decided to, since I fell in love, I was driving from Prescott to Phoenix like almost
Oh,
every day.
yeah. Enough of that.
Yeah. So I quit my job down there, and then now I'm up here full time.
Okay.
Well, welcome.
Yeah. So now I'm a full time Prescottonian for about was it
All
3 months?
right.
Yeah.
About 3
That's
months
what
now.
we like to
You guys
hear.
are getting
Wow.
all the.
We usually do, Jaimie.
you?
Oh, yeah.
Is that how
Yeah.
Because it comes out like I wasn't
Oh,
ready.
It
absolutely.
seems
for
all
this.
innocuous.
Sweet.
We're like, hey, have a cup of coffee. And then you start digging.
What did
digging.
you put in his coffee? Truth serum or
Sorry,
something?
that just
I
came
don't
all
know.
out really fast.
No, that's
I
really
love
cool.
it.
That's awesome. So 3 months now, and
Yeah.
kind of what's your impression? Because
Yeah.
we've been here for a while.
Yeah.
So what's your impression of Prescott and the community and things like that?
So I love the Prescott because it reminds me of the Texas. So I was in Lubbock, so everybody is kind of knows everybody,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I love that. And then the people are a lot more sincere, like compared to Phoenix.
Okay.
Life is a little slower paced
Love
here.
that you
That's
said
good.
that because I feel that way.
It was a crazy rat race down in Phoenix. That It's
Yeah.
like, you hurry up and wait. Like we went to take her kids to breakfast the other day, and it's like you got to hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, hurry up and wait, and that's how it always is. Like here, it's just like.
Chill.
And when I was dating her and I was up here, I was like, man, this is just. Every single time I was up here, I just would take a deep breath, and I was just so relaxed.
Yes.
That's good.
And so, yeah, I love
It definitely
I
lends
absolutely
itself
love
to
I
that,
love
which is
that
which
because
is
that's
really
how
nice.
I feel, but you never know if that's how other people feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
I didn't know
feel that way.
how it was until she, I didn't know how big she was, an impact on the community. And
Oh,
like,
yes.
I mean,
We love our
Am I?
Jaimie.
just so we took a horseback ride yesterday, for instance. She knows everybody.
I know.
We're in the middle of nowhere, on
Yes.
top of the mountain.
Yeah. And they're like, hello.
Yeah, I'm like,
Is that Jaimie?
is that Jaimie? I'm like, how is this even possible? Like you said, like all about 3 people don't know who she is. Like,
Right,
it's true.
right.
I'm like,
Pretty
what in the
much.
heck?
I know.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
if you want just, Jaimie time, you got to go back down to Phoenix. I don't know.
I don't know.
Like,
Just come hide on
forget
the
it.
farm with
Yes,
me.
go out on the
that's
ranch
where
with
I
Jaimie.
hide there.
But I'm absolutely happy to be here in Prescott and looking forward to making this my new home for a long
Lovely.
Yeah,
time.
he
so.
actually
Love to
just
hear that.
started with Highland Real Estate here in town.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
cheers
Yep.
to that.
Yeah,
so
That's
excellent.
great.
Yep,
Good
yep.
to hear. Okay, you guys, let's talk a little bit about now Dancing for the Stars.
With
Dancing for.
dude, I got it wrong. I was just waiting for you to
I
mess
was
up so I
waiting
could look
for
all
it.
smart.
Alex is going to fire us now.
It's okay. I was
Fire.
the same way. I kept saying dancing with
With
the
the
stars,
stars.
not dancing
No,
for.
we are dancing for them because the boys and girls are our
Yes.
stars.
She
That's right.
had to correct
Dancing
me multiple
for the
times.
stars.
I understand.
Yes, they are for them. Yes,
Egg
for
on my
them.
face now.
Now you have last year was the first year I got to go, and you were a pro.
I was a pro.
And now this year they're flipping it, and you're the celebrity, and you're the pro.
Yes.
Okay.
First time that's ever happened.
Can we know what, I'm assuming some sort of country style dancing? Are we allowed to, can we please?
We
a
can't
little
reveal?
something?
Can we
Anything?
reveal? A
I
little
mean,
tidbit?
I
Will
will
there
say
be
that
boots involved? Cowboy boots.
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't
Dang,
think
you
so.
guys are giving nothing away.
I know. Well, what can I give away?
They'll be dancing.
It'll be a blast
dancing.
from the past.
Ooh, okay. I'm going 80s. I'm thinking 80s.
Yeah. She loves the 80s and 90s. This girl. She's got the neon. She's got the leg warmers.
But
80s
wasn't
are
that
all
such
back
a
right
fun
now.
time though. I mean, look
Yes,
at all the
you could
different
wear
things.
anything.
And you
Oh,
remember
yeah.
all the movies back then? They were all just so
No,
like
you were 12. How do you remember? You don't know. She doesn't know. She was 12.
That's a formative time, man. 12. That's like.
That's true. That is
So
true.
you take a lot in when you're at that age.
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah,
was at
big
like
time. Yeah.
Office Depot or something the other day, and they were playing all the, all that genre music, and I'm like, you guys, you're taking me back to the skating rink.
yes.
When I was
Oh,
waiting for couples skate, and nobody ever asked me.
Oh.
And the sweet young men that were behind the counter, they were like, we would have asked you. I'm like, oh, thank you.
That's so cute.
Yeah, but that, it's
Sport
that era.
band.
The
80s.
skating rink.
Yeah.
Just
Riding
I
your
love.
bike.
I love the skate. I skate too.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
a crazy
I know.
roller skating.
She
fool.
is.
But
Like roller derby?
no,
No.
not that.
Oh,
I
that'd be
like-
hilarious.
I'm
Like
just like
dancing,
like
like
that was something
skating.
I would learn
Dancing
now.
on
on
skates
quads.
with like
Yeah.
the.
I'm like right now. I'm just
She's got the lips
in
going.
my
my gosh.
mind. I'm like, hey, okay. But actually, for my 40th birthday, I rented out a whole
I
roller
remember
rink.
that. I wasn't
Yes,
invited,
it
but
was-
I remember the pictures. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's all right, I'm not bitter.
But no, I think it was before we.
Nice save. It's okay.
No, but
This
it
is-
was.
It's
I
going to be
didn't know
recorded.
each other
Jaimie.
yet.
Just
If
saying.
I had another one, you'd be on
All
that
right,
guest
because
list.
you're going to be
You
invited to my
know.
50th, because I'm like that. That's right.
I think you need some time at the Willow Resort.
Sanctuary.
Yeah, maybe you need to
Sanctuary.
heal
I
until your
know.
50th birthday
I
because
totally do.
Yeah.
she hurt you.
Yeah, I heard
Okay.
you,
Right.
and let's make amends. Okay, I just had to say, like, it's just a side note, but it was so funny because we were listening to the radio yesterday, and some song, I think it was like an old Prince song came on or whatever. And you guys get this kind of question from
Love
your
it.
kids. From the back seat, my son Alex, he's like, "Mom, were you alive when this song came out?" Because it's like old. I'm like,
Yes.
Ah.
Dude, I love that you're schooling them in Prince.
Yes.
That's the way
Heck
you should
yes.
raise your children.
yeah, he's a big Prince fan too.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
love
it runs
Prince.
in the family. His
Yes.
his mom, his dad, everybody loves Prince.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, Prince.
Don't say it.
No, you don't like Prince. Oh no.
So I was very sheltered, I would say, growing up, and so like any pop music, that stuff was
That
like,
was a big
oh,
no-no.
yeah. So
Yeah.
But
it's
now?
kind of funny because now I'm almost learning more from my son Ethan. He's 17, and the music's all back. Marissa's
Yes, it
super
is.
into 80s and 90s, so
I love
Ethan
that
actually
girl.
knows more of that genre than I do.
Oh my
and so
gosh.
someone will come on, he's like, "Oh man, I love this. This is my jam." I'm like, "How the heck do you know this?"
Isn't that
I
great?
love that,
yeah,
though.
it's
Good old
That's good to
Mom.
hear.
Yeah.
I love that.
I
So
love it. I
that,
love it.
but
Bring
so I
it
don't
back.
know a lot about Prince, just
Right.
that he has a symbol and whatever.
Yes, he is a
The
symbol.
artist.
He is a symbol.
He is a symbol.
Formerly
guys-
known as
knows
Prince.
Do you guys want to know? We're not going to tell the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
Just I'm leading this story because you tell crazy stories. But
I just tell the truth.
do you want to know? Too much. Do you want to know how this whole situation of professional
Yeah,
versus
because I was shocked to see your name on there again, but as the
too.
celebrity.
Yeah, me too. And that's a hard role to
Is it?
go into, I think. But okay, so I got asked to go to breakfast with Alex, and we're sitting there and chit chatting and whatever. And in walks Nicole, and I'm like, Nicole,
Aw,
like, are you gonna
yes.
join us? She's like, maybe, I don't know. And anyway, after a bit, the waitress comes over and handed her the rose, right? And I'm confused because I got an email that said, about dancers, so I just assumed that I,
You were
was
gonna
in-
be the pro again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. And so I'm confused now because there's a rose, and then she's handing it to me, and I know that that's normally what they do for
For the
celebrities.
celebrity.
And I'm thoroughly confused. And they asked me, "Will you be our celebrity this year?" And I was like,
Aw.
"Oh, okay." Like, totally different. But then, so we're chit chatting and about kind of what that entails, and then I say, well, who's my professional?
Yeah, right. Who do I get?
And they said, well, we didn't know how to ask, but we heard that Frankie used to, and do you think that he would? And I was like,
in a hot minute.
well, so how are you going to ask him then?
Yes.
So we came up with these funny little things, and in a nutshell, we're not telling the whole, but in a nutshell, we called and FaceTimed him. We told him that I was dancing with somebody else, but that wasn't true.
Oh, how fun.
And then they asked him.
Oh, you
Nice.
guys. That's so fun.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so fun.
Yeah, so it is fun, but it is a lot of work. It's
a lot of work.
I've always had immense respect for the celebrities because, oh my goodness. I mean, it is hard to learn the dance and do these things, but also then to engage with your community and ask them to support and and most of them, it's even harder in some ways because if you don't have any dance background at all and you're being asked to do this too, I mean, I don't know,
really
mad
hard.
respect. But yes, I really have a hard time asking people for
money.
I do.
We want your
Anything.
money.
I struggle.
And I'm
She
is.
exactly
She's
the
so
opposite.
casual about it. I'm like, hon, it's okay. You can do it.
I don't like to,
I was
like
in
to
sales.
do it.
I'm like used to the
It's
sales thing.
impossibly hard.
Yeah, I think
No.
I agree with you.
I don't mind at all.
She's like, I don't mind
No.
money.
She doesn't.
Well,
I'll
you
ask
can-
for you.
do it.
If you would like to support. Do you guys have a team name? What are we going by?
I don't know. We're just
Frankie
Jaimie and Frankie.
Jaimie.
Yeah.
Jaimie and Frankie.
We should have a team.
Yeah, I don't know. I
What-
can't think of it right now, but
I
you know,
know.
like a Brad Jelena type of deal.
Yeah,
we need
I
a
like
little
that.
blending of something. But
like
yes,
that.
so if you want to support them, how do they go about doing that?
So you can go to www.dancingforthestars.net, and then there are several different things you can do. You can buy tickets for the event. You can vote for your favorite people.
Okay.
You can sponsor. I have some really fun things happening for my sponsors. So
Okay.
be looking for that because, I just like to have fun with things. And
Yes.
I really like to.
And she likes to party.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, but but also I really think like for our community that is stepping up to support the Boys and Girls Club, we need to support them back because what a sweet thing to do this. And I don't know how much time we have. Are we running out of time right now?
No, you're okay.
Okay, because I'm thinking, can I just say why I do this again and again and again? Because this is the real. There's, you said it earlier, we're dancing for the stars. And the reality is, and I've said this before on different interviews, but it just remains. So I have to always say, for those who don't realize, you and I, we've worked in foster care, adoption, these kinds of things. What we're doing there is very necessary, but it's a response to a crisis. Boys and Girls Club is a proactive measure. When we pour into our families and our children, we keep them from being in that situation. It's an undergirding. They're a gem in our community. This is what we need to do. We need to be proactive so we don't have to be so reactive.
Right.
We've seen these statistics about, they're upsetting, they're staggering.
Yeah.
But some good statistics for anyone who's interested are the success stories from the Boys and Girls Club and how impactful those programs are.
Yeah.
So, how can we say that we are, supportive of, foster care and adoption and, how that is important if we're not willing to go upriver and, stop the kids from falling in the first place?
Yeah.
That's really good.
So good.
That's awesome. That's
thank you.
a great explanation because I think there's a lot of value that we've already talked about and we've seen through the last interviews regarding Boys and Girls Clubs. But that particular one really is that descriptor of why they exist and why we need to support them and how it all fits together because it does. It absolutely fits together. So that's really good. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This year they're doing something a little different. We've got 2 nights.
Yes.
We have an opening night, September, I have it written down so I wouldn't forget it, September 9th, Friday night.
Yes.
And I don't know all the details of that, but Alex was saying tickets are going to be a little bit cheaper.
Yes.
So not as much as the red carpet affair as Saturday night. So more family friendly, budget friendly for some of our.
Yes.
So I think that's a great idea.
So, and another neat thing too about any of these ways to support, whether it's buying tickets, votes, whatever, it's all tax deductible, which is,
Right.
I mean, so
That's good.
in my mind, I'm like,
Win-win.
everybody wins.
Everyone wins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tax deduction. We support a program that is absolutely critical to the health of our community and our children and our, future.
Families, yeah.
And we get to have fun and watch a good show.
Right.
Just so you guys know that the September 10th, the Saturday event they have some fun surprises. So it's show upon show.
Okay.
Shows and shows and shows. Shows before the shows and shows after the shows.
She doesn't want to say she has her fingers in it a little bit.
I
Nice.
can
She doesn't
see
want
that.
to take too much credit.
Yeah,
Fun. Okay, good.
But it's gonna be fun. And you get to dress up. We don't get to do that
I
very
know,
often
we
in
don't.
Prescott.
We don't.
No.
So,
Which
and
I am finding
did
out.
enjoy that.
Prescott formal is completely different from the Phoenix formal. Didn't know that.
You will learn our
So
ways.
I learned that I get a little too dressed up a couple times, and I was like, I feel a little over the
Bring
top.
it down. Get your Wranglers
Yeah.
out, my friend.
I have done. So I'm like, all right, so I know it's jeans and then the shirt.
There you go.
Yes.
Got
Or,
that.
mopeds.
Actually, well, I'm a little bit jealous of this whole
You
look
can do
right
the
here.
mopeds.
That's the way to do
Yeah.
it.
Vespa.
Look at this.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, right?
It's summer.
It's beachy.
It is summer.
Yeah.
I love it.
We like it.
Very
beachy. Yes. Okay, you guys.
That's awesome.
Yes, we're very excited.
So one last thing, we do like to just kind of ask our guests, because it's the Getting Together podcast, who is someone that you would get together with if you could, past or present? It
Yes.
just I don't know. We've had everything from Prince to
We have had Prince.
someone's
Sorry,
father.
it's taken.
So
Oh, mine is gonna sound cheesy, but
We like cheesy.
Okay, so you already know this about me though, Ray. So my hero, I just is Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Rogers. So if I could visit with anyone,
That's so great.
I would visit with Mr. Rogers.
You would have hung out
for
with
sure.
him.
I
That's
think
some-
he
yep.
would be just so lovely.
Yes,
I just know
I
he
agree.
is.
I
He's
totally
so
agree.
cool.
Yes.
And radical. Like he
Wise.
wise, but like he was such a pioneer and he was a trailblazer, but in the quietest, most gentle
Yes.
way. And I
That's
just
really cool.
love him.
Yep.
as long as he leaves the puppets at home.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were. That was the scariest part of me growing up. Is like I liked watching them, and then as soon as those things came out,
I'm
I'm like,
done.
all right, dude,
I'm in another room. I'm in
TV off.
another room.
I'm good.
Yep.
Over it.
Yep.
The
The king, especially, and the cat. The king and the cat. I'm like, there's something messed up here, dude.
Yeah, it was bad.
So
The
terrible.
cat, I don't know. But did you know, like, a lot of those characters, they were based on people in his life? And,
Oh.
yeah.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, they're very sweet things. So,
There you go.
anyway.
Mr.
Frankie.
Rogers. Awesome.
I should have let her go first. Mine's all sad.
What?
Oh.
Oh, it's okay. I know
It's
what
okay.
you're going to
Well,
say.
So it would be for me, for my dad, because he passed away from getting COVID, and
Oh, my
obviously
goodness.
we weren't able to be a part of him and see him
Oh,
very much.
man,
So
Frankie.
it
That's
was
awful.
a horrible time for that whole experience for us as a
Yes.
family, because we were a very close knit family.
Yes.
And so, like, just not being able to share time with him, and beforehand I was stubborn and I was having arguments with before he got sick, so I really didn't have a relationship for like the past year while he was around.
Right.
So like, if I could bring it back, it'd be time to have him be here to talk to him.
Yes.
Just so
Yes.
that would be it. But I should let her go first. That
That's really
And
good.
on that note,
was, yeah, I know. On that note, we're gonna end this.
No, that's really good.
that is
It's
good.
true, but it also is a good reminder for us to, cherish our relationships.
Redeem
Yeah.
the day,
And
yeah.
and you've said some really beautiful things, but one of the things that the takeaways, there are some good takeaways, but there's nothing worth our relationships. So we live
very
and
true.
we go forward and we just love as big as we can every single day.
Yes. You
Yeah.
do that well. You do that very
Absolutely.
well, my friend.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, so with that, man, love every single day.
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
great spot, and
Great
absolutely,
spot.
this thing of community and relationship is what this podcast is about.
what
And
we're
so
about.
please like and share, and stay tuned. We're gonna have lots of dancing
For the
For the stars.
coming up, but please do share it with someone that as you think about these things, that that would be touched by this time together. And man, do that whole thing. Pay it forward. Be kind to someone today. Go out of your way to give someone an encouraging word. And we will see you on the next episode of Getting Together. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.